Here we go. Hey! Oh my God. Hi, Joyce. How are you, dear?
Hi.
There's the little guy. What is he doing up so late?
That's what we're wondering.
He knows no time.
Is he going to run a train?
Oh, he's going to do it now. Hang on. Let me get you. Oh, I got to figure out how to do this. Come on. Get out of line. There we go. I'm going to put you up there and do that right there. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, live for the very first time. There he is. He's running trains.
Hang on, let's change camera here. You can see he's actually doing something here. Got to see which one would work. Not that one.
You know what this means?
There it is.
Yeah, wow. Man. The Pass the Throttle Challenge is on its way.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's pretty good.
Great job, little guy. Great job.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
He just grinned and we're on the faraway camera.
As he's slowly conking out there.
No, he just woke up.
Oh, he just got out. Oh, my gosh.
He looks very tired.
Fumble. All right, dude, you got to hang on.
How old is he?
He's 7 weeks old today.
Oh,
7
wow.
weeks.
Hey, buddy.
My youngest just turned 7 months.
Oh, 7 months. Wow.
Yeah.
Which one it is?
Yep,
there he is.
Hey, buddy.
Speed! We need more speed!
There you go. That's right. You never have too much speed. Look at him. Eyes wide open. Everything.
Oh, wow. That's it. Look, his finger was out trying to push the button.
He's trying.
Oh, if he were a little more awake, he'd be slamming.
Yeah.
He's got pretty good arms already.
Oh, good.
Cameron just turned 5 months. There you go. Get all the little ones up here. I'm sure we'll see Ian will have that video up soon too. That's great. Awesome.
Fantastic.
So the Pass the Throttle Challenge has taken effect.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to beat that either.
He is.
Give him a high five, everybody. Give him a high five, Kian.
All right, buddy.
Kyan. Oh my God, I said his name wrong already.
High five. I know
Future
Joyce.
train modeler, right?
Please don't drop
Future
him.
train modeler, but there you go. Challenge answered.
Perfect. Awesome.
Wait. He wants to type messages now.
Oh gosh. Here it comes.
How do you give this a thumbs down? This is abuse of child labor laws. This is against child labor laws.
Nah, it's all right. It can't be, because that would mean that running trains is work, and we all know that's not true.
Not work. It's fun.
There you go.
All fun and games here.
Yep.
Wife marked in the calendars.
I'm really good. I can do 2 loads. My trains can run a load, and I carry a load myself.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, he really does. The best part of being a grandparent, if this were my child, I'd have to do it. But instead,
that's exactly how it works.
Best part of being a grandparent.
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
See it, you'll love it, and it's all done in the best possible way.
Okay, let's try it again. We had a power reboot, and anytime that happens, it throws the mic off. Sorry about that. Hey, everybody, how are you doing? Happy Friday. And, yeah, I just, I did a power reboot, so the mic, for some reason, OBS stops reading that mic and goes back to the default mic. I think their latest upgrade has created this issue. Usually I just forget to turn the mic on. This time I had it on, but it was not registering because OBS was on the mic. Anyhow, enough waffling and babbling. Let's just go through the list and say hello to everybody. Boilermaker Rick is here, and hopefully you won't be in the hospital. Hi from H&H Express is here. Nice to have you. Hi. Andy, the hot dog pilot. Glad to have you here. Efo, great to have you here as well. Kiwi Dave, another wonder from down under. Thank you for joining us again. Joseph Agliato, the Sergeant at Arms of the Knights of the Rhomboid Table. And we are, a couple of people asked me if I would make a t-shirt or a sticker for Knights of the Rhomboid Table, and we are in the process of designing one. Just, you know, a logo thing, and then if anybody wanted it, I'd just send it to you, you know, not try to sell anything, but I'd just send it to you, email or what have you, post it, and just you can copy it and print it up or whatever you want. Anyhow, Kyle Stevens is here. Andy from March West Junction is here. Mick, how was the Flying Scotsman? You got to go see it. I saw you posted a quickie video, but hopefully there'll be more to come. Dino from the Model Railway Shed is here. Curly from, Dwight Curly from Curly Express is here. And again, for the 4th time today, I want to express my sympathy at the loss of your longtime pet. As I wrote on your live stream, my family, we had a cat for 20 years, and for 15 years of that, we also had the same dog. And we got Storm. We got the cat, had the cat for about 3 years. Then we got Storm, had Storm for 15 years. Storm died, and then a year and a half later, the cat died. Joyce still, we all miss the dog, and Joyce still misses, I think everybody misses our cat, Sabina. Anyhow, hey, Sean from GWR Buckley came in. Great to have you here. Aaron from Manshed Railroad is here. I think I may have skipped you when I did March West. Let's see, Ray Bobel is here. Great to have you here. Steve Childers, thanks for popping in. Tim JD, one of the foundations. Tom Couples, another one of the foundation stones of this channel. Tony Northeastern is here. I'm very honored, sir. Thank you. Train Wild. Welcome in. I have forgot your name because I didn't write it down. And Chris from Bally's 56 is here. And that's everybody I've got on my list. I hope I didn't miss anybody. My apologies if I did. I will certainly catch up as we go along. Hey, there's Alan from Dragon Junction, your lordship. Wow, what a week it's been. And it's one of those weeks where, even in a good way, it doesn't feel like I just did the Friday live stream. You know, normally I start off going, oh my God, it's another Friday again. There has been so much in this week since last Friday's live stream. It feels like it's been a week since I did the Friday live stream. Because Saturday morning, I was working on electrical in the house, and some of you may have seen my post on Facebook about, it was supposed to be about a half an hour job. I was trading out 2 lights and a light switch. And Joyce and I have this, we have a bed in an alcove in our attic, basically a dorm alcove. And we have a little light on the wall behind us above our bed, reading light, whatever. And we decided to change it. It was old. One of the sides no longer worked. It had burned out. So, and we're going to replace the light switches on the side above our bed as well. So anyhow, I go in to replace this light and open it up. And by American code, there has to be a junction box. You cannot have any sort of light or electrical function without it being encased in a junction box. The junction box can be metal or certain plastics, grades of plastic. And the idea is it prevents sparks from getting into the walls and setting something on fire. There's no junction box. And that's not a surprise because this idiot that owned the house before me, who is a professional electrician, doesn't put junction boxes on half the stuff he did on the rebuild of the house. It's been the number of hidden junction boxes and then fixtures without junction boxes has been mind-numbingly sickening. And and then on top of that, he had split the insulation wire to wire it into the lights, and then he used the screw caps on the wires, the wire twist screw caps. And then he didn't tape those up, which you should do. There's no law that says you have to, but if you're going to use the twist, you should tape those up. It keeps the cap connected to the wire, so if one of the wires tries to pull out, the tape helps resist it, and also the tape acts as insulation so nothing else gets up and into the twist where the wires are twisted, the cap. He didn't do that. So there are these loose wires with flammable insulation in the wall and drywall and wood and absolutely zero safety precautions. So I've been sitting there going, well, for 30 years, any night, that could have caught fire. Something could have sparked and caught fire. And Joyce and I would have been roasted before we knew what happened. So that was my Saturday. And then Sunday, we did the train show, the Toledo train show, which was a lot of fun to do. And a lot of you came in and said you enjoyed it. I mean, I don't do interviews or stuff like that because I'm not knowledgeable enough to do interviews. I just go and try to show you guys some of what's there. And then if I get to certain sections and I know some of you collect stuff, I'll say, hey, let me know and I'll buy you something. You know, I mean, I'm not rich, but I had some money that if somebody wanted a few things like, hey, I'll get you this and I'll get you that. I did it last year for 3 people. And this year I did it for a few people. Where somebody said, oh, I want that. And I was like, well, I'll get it for you. So, do I know where he moved to? I did. They moved basically half a mile down the road on another road, but stayed in this part of town. But that was years ago because I actually wound up teaching his son in high school for a year. My first year at Bowser was that kid's last year in the German program. And I was careful because I've been criticizing for years the I wouldn't hire this guy to plug in a fan in a light socket. That's how bad an electrician I consider him. Hey, Robert Strainstead is here. Nice to have you here. And yeah, I figured some people might be off with the Americans jumping ahead last weekend. But the train show was fun. And then on Monday, I got a mail call. So I decided to do a mail call video. And then I decided to do I don't do review videos because review is really being judgmental and analyzing it and what's good and bad about it. And really, I'm just saying, here's what it is. And let's see how it runs on my layout first time, and just doing it. And it was just something to put some... I don't put up a lot of videos. It's the live feeds. And so I decided to do, and I wound up doing 3 videos about that. And I then also put up a community post correction because I had been calling the new cars Silberlinges, and they weren't. And I should have known they weren't. I just saw when Märklin announced it and saved it, I said, oh, new Silberlinges, and I'm going to buy them to replace my old Silber. And they weren't Silberlinges. Any fool that pays attention, and that was my problem. I wasn't paying attention. I just saw single-decker Regio-Bahn cars, and technically they're not Regio-Bahn. They are Express. And, and I know that the Nuremberg Express, and Ivo, of course, explains it to me as well when he catches my air, that those were modified Eurofirma wagons made into express cars for Regio-Bahn. But anyhow, hey, Lee is here. Hi, Lee. Yeah, Ivo, we used to have some shows like that back when our network in the United States, DIY, actually showed DIY shows and not vacation and trust fund kids going to parks around the world, or fake turnover shows, flipping shows, where these people, supposedly work in the flipping industry, where they buy houses really cheap and fix them up and then resell them for a profit. And when the first of those shows came out, they exploded on the U.S. market. Now, the last thing I'll say, I was going to wait till... Hey, there's Randall Ellison. I was going to wait till Randall Ellison. Clive is here, and I think I said hi to Lee. I have gotten back to writing for the 4 people that care about Matt Clarke. I have finally broken through the writer's block, and I've written 3 scenes in the last 2 days. Matt Clarke will be returning probably beginning of April, but instead of 1 episode a week, I'm going to post maybe 2 episodes a week and get it all done before Joyce and I go to Germany. But I finally got through a couple of the big writer's blocks and plot problems I was having. I wrote 3 scenes between yesterday and this morning, and I've got the plot. I know the plot. It's just there's certain steps along the way I kind of had to sort out, and it's just been hard to do it. And of course, when I started writing Matt Clarke again, Joyce's brother died, and then there were other family issues, and then various flus hit the family, including that nasty norovirus that went through and took 3 weeks out of everybody's life. So that was the insanity of it all. But anyhow, so it was great to go to the train show. I had a great time at it again. Joyce had volunteered to go, but as the day got closer, Joyce was like, I don't want to go. But I'm glad she did, because we were supposed to hook up with Rick from Rick's Railroad and his wife Lisa, and anybody who was live realized that we didn't catch each other until after the stream started. We were supposed to meet at 9:15. We were on one side of we were at the entrance, and we didn't communicate well. We just said, yeah, we'll meet you at the show. Yeah, we'll meet you at the show. No problem. And we didn't have each other's phone numbers. We didn't have anything. It was just, oops. Okay, so anyhow, let's go to the trains and get things going. Everything else I can babble about. Now, the title of this is for a reason. So let me show you the trains that were running today, and you understand why it's called I See Red, I See Red, I See Red, which, by the way, is a song by the New Zealand group, the Australian-New Zealand group, Split Ends. We got a lot of red on the layout today. So what we're running today is in the first lane, I am running my new Nuremberg Express. And its wagons. These are the ones that are not the Silberlinges, and you can tell they're not. And by the way, it's being pulled by a Class 101 locomotive. But the Eurofirma cars are single doors at the far end of each carriage, coach, wagon, whatever you want to call it. And I should have seen that right away, but yeah, I was just a doofus. And a class 143 here. Hey, dude, other way, other way. There we go. He's pulling those ESU. Those are the Silberlinges. And they were called Silberlinges because they used to be silver. Now they're called N-Traffic or N-Wagen. But we'll get him on the road. Try to get him up. Actually, he's probably going faster than he should. I really want to keep these things to lower speeds just to so you guys can see them better in the cameras. I already run them shorter than speed. All right, then I'm running the two new EMUs. So there's that NordWestBahn after I gave it the week off last week, the class 440. And then next to it, the class 442. Whoa. Hey, not so fast, Tex. And then, just for the heck of it, so I'm running basically all Regio except for that and might have helped if I had, oh, there we go. I'm good to go. I did have it popped up. So then I'm running my two class 648. So I am running the NordWestBahn. So I've got two NordWestBahns going. So we got this NordWestBahn going. And way in the back, we got the red one. So we're running a lot of red today. And once I finish getting these going, I will... Yeah, there were. Yeah, equals the Mintinga and the Rotlinga, right. Hey, did I see Peter Jackson popped in? Hi, Peter Jackson. Yeah, thanks, Tim. I really did love that picture of Cayenne. All right, let's just go to the multi-view. I am running my trains a bit slower. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Floor. So let's go to the floor real quick and you guys can see what we're running from the UK. We are running the Mallard. The Mallard is back on the floor. And we're still running the Azuma, my two favorite UK trains. The Mallard and the Azuma. Hey, did I see James Gibson is here? Hello, James Gibson. And we have 156 Andrews here. And we have Ray Ron. So let's go back to the multicam until I start running through some of the various cameras. But there's the multicam. The 12 cameras currently running. But welcome to my humble little live stream that is going on 3 years now, every Friday. And now declare you a knight of the rhomboid table. But if you'd like to post a link to your channel, Ray Ron, you can post it here, and then people can follow the link and check you out. But yeah, my grandson Cayenne, my daughter ordered a shirt for a model train outsider shirt for her husband, and for my grandson Cayenne. And Spring ships them separately. They're not all produced in the same place. So I was babysitting Cayenne yesterday, and his shirt came in, and so he saw a package. And anytime there's a package at our house, it's Opa's either got a toy or a model train something, so he's always excited. Open. So I said, well, it's for you. And Cayenne's looking at me like, what? I said, this is for you, Cayenne. Open it up. And he's trying to rip open the plastic, which was pretty hard to do. So Opa ripped it open for him. And as soon as I pulled it out, he got excited. He's like, shirt, shirt, shirt. And I said, look at it. And he points at it, at the logo on it. He goes, Opa! And I'm like, I've raised this kid well. So he wanted to put it on. He had just gotten up out of his nap. So he was like, he's trying to get his pajamas off because he wants to put that shirt on. So when I said, Kyan, let me take your picture with Opa's shirt on, he ran right to the camera and just like, pose away, Opa. Well, I'm posed, Opa. Fire away. Take my pictures. Yeah, Andrew, I did. I thought I commented on it. Yes, Kiwi, my live stream is on a Saturday. You are absolutely right. You see it on a Saturday. I broadcast on a Friday, but you see it on a Saturday. But, so yeah, it was a very busy week for me. It was kind of nice to be getting a lot of things done, other than realizing how many times I avoided death because the idiot electrician that owned this house before me and remodeled it in '87 just violated code after code after code after code. I'm not an electrician, but my dad was, and I learned code and I learned proper technique. But I also bought something on eBay. I bought a KPEV, that's Kingdom of Prussia for short, railway organization. P8 is what the loco's called. So I will have a steam locomotive that goes with those pre-World War I wagons that I bought at the Cleveland model train show back in October. I think it was October we went. But I didn't buy anything for me on Sunday. Even the stuff I said I would go back and pick up after the show or after the live stream, I went back and looked at it and I went, it's not really what I want. I've got money I got to spend elsewhere. I really want to buy that locomotive off eBay. And this isn't exactly what I want, so why buy it if it's not exactly what I want? But I did spend over $200 on other people. Now, mind you, those people have all paid me back, or I said they didn't have to pay me back. But that was just kind of nice to do. Well, I see we're starting in the gutter already, Andy. I haven't even had a chance to make those kind of jokes yet. You're beating me to it. Speaking of Scottish and 156 Andrew, Caledonian Andrew, there is a Scottish comedian named Eleanor Morton, and she's got a great YouTube channel. And she does this character she calls Craig. And Craig is a tour guide at all these different famous Scottish sites. And Craig, she always introduces Craig the tour guide doesn't give a fuck. And she's great. Now, she did a premiere video yesterday. And some guy says, wow, her Scottish accent's really good. I'm Scottish, and normally people aren't very good. You know, they just don't get it right, or they exaggerate this, but her Scottish accent's really good. And several of us, and I was the first, I was like, excuse me, Alex? She is Scottish. No, she's not. You listen to her speak English, she's British. She's not English. No, she's Scottish. And somebody popped up the quote from her website, Scottish comedian and actress, and blah, blah, blah. And I actually knew more than I said. Okay, she is Scottish. She was born in Australia and went through secondary school in Australia. But her dad and mom were Scottish immigrants. They were from Scotland, moved to Australia when she was 5 or 6. And then she went to school in Australia, but then when she graduated secondary school in Australia, she was given citizenship from Scotland because her dad is Scottish and never renounced his citizenship. So she got into the University of Glasgow and studied English lit, drama, and things there. She's highly educated and she's very funny. And it's like, this guy's like, I'm Scottish and she's not Scottish. I'm like, she's Scottish, dude. To use nails for fuses. No, but he hid fuses behind nails, which was a lot of fun. Now, while we're online, before I start going to the main cameras today, do want to call out a few people. Those of you from the UK, you probably already know, but our friend Bernie at Crossway Point had a downturn last week and went into the hospital for 3 days. He's been out for 3 days. He popped on to Alan Buckland Junction's stream yesterday to say he was home and he's recovering. But he's not going to be doing anything on YouTube for a little while. So we all want to send our thoughts, hopes, prayers, and well wishes to him. Stephen the plumber still continues to go through his cancer treatment, so we want to wish him all the best. Erica Ponte from ANC N-Scale Railroad and Life Journey. Eric is home and was in good spirits yesterday after having a kidney removed. He's actually moving around quite a bit. I can't imagine being that active that soon after having a kidney removed. But, of course, I only have one kidney, so I don't want a kidney removed. There's a couple other people my brain's forgetting. I'll think of them as we go. And Dwight Curley here lost his dog of almost 10 years, which is hard to do as well. So if there's anybody else, I'm trying to think. James Galton from Canada has the Showstopper. So he apparently doesn't have a horrible dose of it. So hopefully he and the family will be okay. And I think that's it. I think I might be forgetting somebody. Hey, Leslie, how are you? Yeah, but, we won't even go there. And, if you're Irish, happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't have a spot of Irish in me. We never celebrated St. Patrick's Day in my house. You know, at school, teachers might say something about it. Now, Joyce does have Irish in her. And Joyce has to have corned beef for dinner on St. Patrick's Day. Now, I don't know if she's going to do it today or tomorrow. I think, because my son, instead of coming up on Sunday, is coming up tomorrow. So I think she might be making it for dinner tomorrow. But I don't eat corned beef. It's the only form of beef I don't eat. I don't like corned beef. But Joyce has to. Listening while doing the laundry. Well, I could be streaming while doing the laundry, but no. I already did the dishes last night and today. Because I do the dishes, call it done, and then after I go to bed, my daughter makes a meal and leaves all the dirty dishes out. So has anybody come in? I haven't seen yet. Because I expected with it being St. Patty's Day and the time change, we might not see a lot of people today. Speaking of which, last week's live stream was another big topper, but my Munich-Nuremberg car video, that's the first video in months and months that was just a basic video I posted that broke 400 views, because normally my videos get about 200 views, give or take 20. And that one is near 450. So that was cool. I don't know what got people going. Hey, Raymond, how are you? But yeah, Joyce has Irish in her, but I don't. Joyce is like a quarter Irish. Her maiden name is Redding, which is Ellis Island reboot of O'Redden. they were the O'Reddins when they came over and became the Reddings when they got here. So she was Joyce Redding before she became Joyce Dodge. As liberated as a woman as she is, she was also traditionalist and didn't mind taking my name when married. Where's that train show at, Raymond? Or is that the one in Indiana? Because John Benicki is working at a train show tomorrow in Indiana, and I wanted to go, but my son's coming up tomorrow, so I can't go out of town. Yeah, I will always find guys that have 187 scale European cars. There was a bunch of trucks, but yeah, I go in without the expectation of finding much. But the difference is 4 years ago, well, you know, the Showstopper stopped shows for 2 years around us. So the last train show I went to was 2019, late 2019. And I was always disappointed with them because nobody had my European stuff, and I didn't care about the American stuff. But with me being at home during the Showstopper, working from home and everything else, I was watching a lot of YouTube, and it's when I really started watching American channels. Actually, I started with Canadian channels, Sparky, and then started watching other American channels as I got to know people. People like Ray that was here. Hey, Edmund, how are you? Edward, how are you? Oh, your train show's Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. Darn it. But anyhow, I did that. Let's start going through. I keep talking about it. Is anybody going up the ramp? No, so... You got the DB cam. There's the Silberlinges, or the N-Wagen. Would just be the easiest way to call them nowadays. We'll go with that view. Although, well, no, more are coming in. Right. And so they were disappointing. So after 2 years of getting in and learning the American companies and some of the old liveries and stuff like that, when I did my live stream last year, 2022, when I decided to go to the Toledo train show for the first time in 4 years or 5 years, and just said, oh, what the heck, I'm going to go, and maybe I'll live stream from it. It was amazing how, even though I wasn't buying, it was just cool to look at all the liveries, the New York Central, the old Baltimore and Ohio. And boy, if I were a train collector for American stock, I would have been buying so many Baltimore and Ohio because they're gorgeous liveries on those coaches, especially with the silver and navy blue one, the New York Central, the Pennsylvania Railroad, just so many gorgeous liveries that I could look at this stock now and really just admire it in all scales and all liveries. I just really gained an appreciation for the American. I still don't know anybody. I barely know German. I certainly don't know the history of the German railways. I just know, for the most part, how the system's set up now and what runs now. And even then, if I'm not paying attention, I'll have a slip of the tongue and call something something it isn't. And from a distance, I can't tell a 110 from a 112 from a 120. Those are locomotives that all look alike to me, in case you didn't figure that out. But be that as it may, it was really cool. So I didn't plan on live streaming. I just decided to do it last year. This year, it was planned all along, and it was great to do it. And one of my favorite things is, as I'm going through the table, watching you guys, reading you guys react to it and going, oh, wow, oh, man, look at that, go in there, look at that, oh, my goodness, you know. And then I will say, if you want it, I'll buy it for you. Now, if something's $300, then maybe I can't, you know, in one shot. But again, depending on how desperate you are and how well I know you, maybe I would drop $300 for you in that one case and buy you that locomotive. You know, if you're somebody I consider a good friend and trustworthy. So, you know, it's not like I was being generous and buying stuff for people. I bought stuff and they paid me back. Now, my thing is, because I do like to be friendly, is I don't ask for, I will ship it to you. If you just pay me what I paid at the table, I will ship it at my expense, because that is my little attempt to be a nice guy. So, that's what it's about. DeutscheBahn and then DR, which was, I believe that's the East German. Pennsylvania and Chessie are some of your favorite. Hey, James Galton, how are you? I mean, I know you have the showstopper, but hopefully it's a mild case. And if not, I'm very sorry. And you shouldn't be online. You should be getting rest, but there it is. But, yeah, so it's been a good week and a fun week. I've got two things. I've got 2 new shirts arriving today. Hey, Mark, how are you? The Innocent Tales of Piddle Folk. Thanks for hopping in. Wait, are you making a sick thing at the Baltimore and Ohio? I love the passenger cars I was seeing from the Baltimore and Ohio. I don't know anything else about them other than they used to run through this area back in the day. But, yeah, wow, Baltimore and Ohio, some gorgeous passenger cars at the height of the passenger train service in the United States. Hey, race fan, welcome in. So, to me, and you guys tell me your experience, this comes up in chats now and then. A long time ago when I first got into chats, and I'm a bit of a feminist, you know, women, my wife knows as much about sports as any guy, and there are guys that will try to mansplain shit to my wife, and Joyce will just be like, back off, Tex. I probably know more about baseball or football than you do. Joyce was an all-city athlete, and Joyce is very defensive anytime somebody says, women. You know, I tease Joyce, you know, Joyce will get defensive. I'll say, well, there's still one thing men can do that women can't do. And she goes, oh, yeah, what's that? And I go, write our name in the snow. But anyhow, we're watching a live stream, and a guy was making fun of people like, well, you know, women would get into the hobby, and they would just pick trains out because of their color. And I thought, well, that's what I do. That's why I have a railjet. The livery. You can make fun and call it, but it's the colors. It's the livery. It's the design on it. So do any of you, do you guys buy trains because of the livery? Now, I know if you do freight trains, but, you know, so you buy, you know, it's either because that's what you're, you know, you grew up with, that's what you ran with, that's what you worked in, you know, so you got your CSX freight or your Conrail, that's what ran around you when you were a kid. But do you ever get into something, do you get a certain locomotive or a train just because of its color, just because of its livery? Yeah, I, knock on wood, my last 3 purchases have been amazing. That first Piko, the blue Piko Class 440, where is it? Where are you? Okay, he's coming around. We'll get him on the DB view as he's coming here. So this is the one I got just over a month ago. And he took last weekend off. He's coming into frame right now. There he is. Oh, I didn't turn his lights on. Dude, get your lights on. But he, other than the problems I had with out of the box, and I clearly have fixed the bogie, he's been a beautiful runner and just really, really smooth. One of the smoothest vehicles I have. And then the other new guy is coming around. Let's see if I can get the, he's coming right here. This new guy, and we'll catch him in the 11-lane camera here. This guy, He's nice too. Now, this is about as stripped down a train as you can get. There's no sound, even though it's preset for sound functions. The sound wasn't put in it. All that it has is lights. It has a decoder that will operate the sound functions once you get the sound, the speaker and what have you added into it. But this was it's the most stripped down locomotive I've ever bought. Well, it's not a locomotive, it's a EMU. But wow, it is running beautiful. And then the other thing I forgot to do it again, let's open this up here. I've got to turn on the lights on that. So let's see, him over there, bing. And let's see, where's the other one? Yeah, that guy right there. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, now I just got to make sure the one guy is in the right direction, mes amis. Make sure that ESU one is, or actually that's a Roco 482 to go with my ESU Silberlinge. That's a Roco because I wasn't going to buy an ESU version. It was $50 more, and Roco is quality enough. Yep, we're all good. Okay. You guys have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just making sure lights and directions are set up correctly. Hey, Paul Volzman is here. Hey, Paul. That's all right. Paul says hi to everybody. Maybe the train picks you. That could be. Randall's back. Cool. Yeah. The Railjet. The Railjet picked me. You know, Andy, to steal your phrase there. The Railjet picked me. I was just going to get German trains I had ridden on. And I had already bought 3. Let's see. I got the ICE-3. Then I got the Class 146-2 locomotive with the red double-decker Regio bonds. And then I got the NordWestBahn Class 648. And then I got the Czech Railjet locomotive because I just saw the Railjets in a video. It just popped up and I went, oh my God, that's so cool. And Joyce and me was like, no, you haven't ridden those. And over a week and a half, I'm just like, these are so cool. She's like, you're talking yourself into buying one, aren't you? Yeah, I am. I really like this. She's like, get it. So, okay, so I got the Railjet. So Dwight needs 9 and James needs 18. Well, I've never had that big a push on anybody. But, hey, go to these people's channels and help them get to the next level. And, again, feel free to advertise your channel, what number you're at, how many subs you need. Most of the guys here are subscribed to each other. But I'm all in favor of that. I've had I don't know what happened. I've gained 10 subscribers over the last 2 days, which is like a big jump for me because I'd been kind of stuck around a number for 2 weeks without it moving or going up one, down one, up one, down one. And then all of a sudden the last couple of days, bam, it just kept going up. I actually gained 12 and I finally went down 2. But I've had a huge boost. And like I said, that video, both the live stream from the train show went over 360 views, which is good for one of my live streams. Almost, maybe a little better than average. My live streams do about 320 to 360, and that went to about 350, I think it was at. But that was it wasn't an announced live stream, but it wasn't this Friday Outsider Insider. All right, Hi says he's taken off. All right, good night, Hi. Thanks for hanging out with us. But With the new acquisitions, there's the problem. Now you're wondering, what problem? Well, those two shelves up on the wall are full. Other than one of the trains that's running right now. And, let's see. The parking area, the high-speed parking area, which is against the wall on the bottom over there, that's been full. You can see my ICE1, ICE2, ICE3, and ICE4 with a rail jet kind of screening the ICE4. And then the side parking area on the other side of these buildings there is also full. So, now in Joyce's opinion, that means I have to stop buying trains. I'm out of trains. I can't buy any more trains. And I'm like, but honey, I got wall there and wall over there, and I could take that flag down. I've got that wall, the map of Germany up there. I've still got plenty of shelf space. But yes, I need to start making more shelves. I am definitely starting to run out of some space of storage for my trains. I need to get a better camera here, just one that creates more light. Yes, Edward. Now, all these backdrops are pictures Joyce took. I don't know what cameras. Let me see. If I go to the 11-lane view, those pictures way in the background there along that wall, that is a one of our cameras had a panoramic view on it. So we stood on top of a small hill just outside Dresden, Germany. Or no, this one was Lüneburg, Germany. And just north of Lüneburg. And she took a panoramic picture there. The other one is from Pirna. And then what we do is we just mirrored them so it's double panoramic, and we just keep splicing it all together. So that goes... Let me see if I can use this other camera, so bear with me a second. So I'm just going to turn that around. So that goes halfway up. And then I want to get some pictures of Delmenhorst. And there is one picture of Delmenhorst in that corner there. On the other side of the tracks there. And then in that corner, it's a picture Joyce took from a train while we were traveling with some friends of ours in Germany that were taking us. They took us up. I want to say they drove us near the city of Flensburg, way up in northern Germany. And then what other bits do I have? That might be it. Oh, over here, that image right there, that is from Pirna, Germany as well, and that's the Danube River. So that is, they're just homemade backdrops. They're just, and Joyce took all the pictures. Before I go to that one, let's look on the floor for a bit, see how these guys are doing. Good morning, Artie. Early morning for you. Well, the thing is, Mark, I don't even know if you'd call it innuendo. It's wordplay. It's blatant wordplay. And I think everybody gets it, although yes, if you use some British slang. But we're on 3 generations of Americans now that know Monty Python. Now, my dad would watch Monty Python and hate it. I don't get it. But the rest of us, we grew up on Monty Python, Are You Being Served, Young Ones, For Appearance's Sake. A lot of British comedy made it to America on our public access stations. So we're not quite as naive about it, about British comedy and the style. And like any comedy, British comedy comes in many shapes and forms. because I don't know, Mark, if you've ever watched my Matt Clarke Railroad Detective cartoon series on my channel here. It's similar in that it's wordplay. It's a lot of wordplay. And yes, it does play on accent and pronunciation, you know, like the minuet. And names like Ivor Bigbottom and stuff like that, which has been around for whoops, not that one. We don't really have anybody new here. That's the camera I wanted to go to for a bit. Yeah, and the thing is, mine is a series. So you really, to get it, you have to start with Series 1, Episode 1. And I've had 2 series and 2 Christmas specials. But there's definitely, I do have wordplay and pun and some innuendo. And then, like you, there's a lot of Americanistic comedy bits. But also, I throw in a lot of hidden pop culture references. Some from the UK, some from America, some German. And I throw them in just to see who gets it. I throw jokes in there with the idea that there's only 2 people on planet Earth that are going to get that joke. Me and the one other person who got it. Yeah, well, yeah, those are probably the 2 biggest ones. But as somebody who's got a degree in linguistics and how languages form and formulate and shape, you know, vowels are the beginning of where you differentiate accents. Then there are certain letters that are consistent. T's, G's, L's, R's. And certain combos, certain diphthongs, which is not footwear for stupid people in Australia or bikini bottoms for stupid women in America. See, that's a pun. And wordplay. Hey, Nicholas Foote, long time. How you been, sir? Great to have you here. The way we pronounce it, and then where do you put stress on syllables? You know, for example, my name in American English is Anthony. But the Germans call me Anthony, and most of the people in the UK call me Anthony, because either the name Anthony is usually spelled without the H over there, or even if it is spelled with the H, it tends to be, the TH tends to be pronounced like a T, which is also true in German. That when you see a TH in a German word, 9 times out of 10, it's pronounced like a hard T, a palatalized T. You know, so the word math in German is Mathe, Mathe. Hey, Tom, how are you? Great to have you. Oh, Tom, I just saw that you asked me a question, God, a week ago, about my Märklin, not my Märklin, my Mallard. And I still didn't go over and get the box to look up what the number is. I think it was, the model number was 44 something. Let me grab it real fast. Here, I'll put the multicam on so you guys can stare at whichever little corner you want. Actually, let me put a quads on. That way you got slightly bigger pictures. I don't know. But let me go find that Hornby box. 3371. Yep, my Mallard is model number 3371. All right, Peter is taking off. Well, thanks for coming in, Peter. It was great to have you. Let me see if this works. Yep, there it goes. So, yeah, it was R3371, the Mallard. But have a very good evening and enjoy the remainder of St. Paddy's Day if you're celebrating. Ah, the infamous she who must be obeyed lines. Or he who must be obeyed. I don't know. We all have... Joyce is definitely... Well, you know, she's... It's really weird. She's about a third to half German, and the rest is split between Scottish and Irish. And her Scottish side comes out in frugality. She's very frugal. Even when we have the money, it's like, Joyce will be complaining, I don't have this. Honey, go buy it. Go buy it. Get in the car, go to the store and buy it. Or she needs a dress for something, and there'll be 4 dresses. And the ugliest one is the cheapest one, and she'll buy that one because it's the cheapest one. It's like, honey, you can afford the nice one, and it looks the best on you. And so, yeah, she's... But she also is generous, so she has no trouble saying, all right, honey, if you want to go spend the money, go get it. Now, that said... When I got some of my retirement bonus and we had a lot of money in the bank, and she was like, we're getting a good bed. We're going to get one of those adjustable, massaging. You know, she didn't care the cost. We were getting a good bed. We've slept on medium quality, medium price beds for 35 years together. Hey, Simon's here. Hi, Simon. Okay, so Tom says he's looking for someone in the UK that can help, although you do find quite a few UK trains on eBay, but yeah. But now Tom here is a friend of mine. We chat on Facebook now and then. Tom's actually been here at the layout. Tom runs Märklin trains. He has an amazing collection of older Märklin trains. I think Tom, Ifo, and Jean Ricard could all hook up and have quite a nice chat about classic Märklin and German trains. And I'd just be sitting in the corner sucking my thumb, feeling left out. Bought a waterbed but made us drift apart. Oh, the dad jokes fly. Yeah, there's definitely different qualities, and I think to some degree age plays a part of that. And of course, Andy will tell you that certain companies have no quality whatsoever anywhere. Let's go back to that one. Let's see if we can catch some of the guys in this one. All right, well, there you go, Tom. Mark Ireland has posted his email if you want to contact him. He'll be willing to help you, and he's got a beautiful layout. So he's probably a good guy to talk to. What do you mean, did they make live steam engines? Edward, what do you mean? Yeah, I saw that, Evo. They, England, well, they're on an island, aren't they? The UK, yeah. Sam's Train had a comment about it. A couple other people had a comment about it. And, oh my God, the price! They must be insane. It's like, you really haven't paid attention to Continental model trains, have you, in the UK? Yeah, you do pay more. In the United States, you pay more than what you pay. But at the risk of starting an international incident, the quality is better. Based on what I've seen with all the Hornbys when I was over in the UK and the videos I watched, the Bachmans. You know, and the thing is, Sam, and I like Sam, so I'm not saying anything negative about Sam, but he is biased towards the UK market. He's like, well, I don't know what Märklin's trying to, like, he thinks Märklin's trying to make HO to sell in the UK, and, you know, they kind of get defensive about that. Well, you know, nobody in the UK is going to buy that train at that price point. And so I actually responded on his video. I said, Sam, this isn't being made for the UK market. And the people who want a Flying Scotsman but don't want 00 scale are going to be quite happy to have this, or who like classic steam locomotives or famous trains, museum trains. Märklin's making this for the rest of the world. And the thing is, like it or not, the Märklin, knock on wood, is going to be, it's going to be triple the price, but it's going to be triple to quadruple the quality of anything Hornby puts out regarding the Flying Scotsman. And it's a new tooling. It's not the constantly recycled tooling that most of your UK trains are. Oh, hang on. Let me go back and find it. All right, Tom, I'm going to email you this email. I'm going to Facebook you this email. So everybody just watch the trains while I'm distracted doing something else. Let me see. Christian, Tim, Bernie, Lindy, Artie, Jackie, hi. There's Thomas. Yep, there it is. So, control paste. All right, you should be getting that any second now, Thomas. Any second now. There you go. Let's go around again one more time. Yeah, Artie, there is. Everybody is stepping up the detail game, but the prices are stepping up as well. And I totally agree with all the people that are saying, you know, as they cater to the market that wants the trains more detailed and more functions in the decoders, you're losing a lot of people that just want to get in. You know, I saw somebody's live stream earlier this week. I'm trying to remember who it was, what about the kids? What about the kids? And, you know, yeah, it's not, you know, for UK and even American markets, there is a lot of cheap stuff. I mean, based on what I've seen in Germany, you know, you look at the Piko startup sets, which you get a train and a controller for less than $200, and track controller, you know, for less than $200, like, you know, 179, 159. Now it's a very low quality train, but it's good enough as a starter set. You know, you're getting the controller, you're getting track, you're getting a train, but you're still paying $200, where, you know, you can maybe buy a cheap Hornby starter set for the equivalent of $50 or $60. But the quality of the track is questionable. The quality of the train is very suspect. Yeah, and I will just tell you right now, Edward, as far as Märklin Gauge 1, I don't know anything other than their prices. You could buy an actual car. Used, but yeah. I have seen Märklin Gauge 1 for $3,000, $4,000 for really elaborate, fancy steam locomotives. And yes, live steam. Hey, Chris Hatchell, nice to have you. Yeah, and that's the thing, like Märklin, it seems to me, and I do look at the book, but Märklin right now, in other words, the stuff they now release, Trix will release some stuff in analog, but Märklin, I have not seen an analog release. It doesn't mean they didn't release one. I may have just missed it. But when I look at the catalogs and when I look at what the shops are getting in, Märklin in HO, there is no analog. Now, some of their basic models can work digital and analog, but they still have a decoder and are technically not pure analog. But Trix has released a couple of things that are straight up analog. One of the new ones that Trix is doing is, it says that it's analog, not digital. Now, Roco and Piko, for example, the DC, the 2-rail version of, where is he? Oh, he's coming around. Let's go 11 lane. Quick, 11 lane while we catch up. The DC version of this new guy coming right into camera now, that's analog by Piko. It does not have a decoder in it. The AC version has a decoder in it. My 3-rail version has a decoder in it, but they didn't add the sound system, which you have to buy separately, and it's about $80. The speaker and the connection to the decoder. So, and the instructions on it say this works both analog, AC, and runs digital. You can run that on an analog system according to the booklet from Piko. Is that the AC version can run both on an analog layout and a full digital system, even with the decoder in it. But the DC, the 2-rail version is straight up analog. You have to buy the decoder and the sound separately. Hey, did I see Raymond Anthony is here? No such thing as being late to a live stream. Kieran is here too. So Kieran and Raymond, nice to have both of you here. But so it just I Now the thing is, I knew when I bought that 442, that red new one, that red long one that just went through the corner up there. When I bought that one, I knew it had no sound functions. But if I go to my Central Station 3, it will list all the functions. The functions are there. The decoder already says we can do these functions, but you actually have to add the system. You have to add the speaker and everything for those functions to work. Yeah, Chris, that's been a big debate. That's been a big debate. Will Märklin release? Because I was told by somebody, I don't think it was Evo, but it might have been Evo. But somebody told me Märklin's already sold out the production run of the Flying Scotsman. They've already sold out. Pre-order sales, it already sold out. Just on pre-order sales. So I assume they're going to make another run. That they will release the first run whenever it's done, and then go back a month or two later and do another run and try to get some in the shop. But yeah, they have already sold out. And somebody was telling me it's one of the fastest sellouts of a new locomotive by Märklin in a while. So yeah, from announcement that you could order it to it's already sold out. That's what I've been told. Again, I can't attest to the factuality of that. Yeah, they did the Hogwarts Express, and there was one other UK train they did a long time ago. But this is the first one they've done since the Hogwarts Express that is specifically a UK train. And again, the Hogwarts was just, they got the license because the 00 stuff was not going to sell in Germany. So Märklin got the rights to do an AC version of the Hogwarts, because I think Hornby had the original rights to it, to do the Hogwarts Express, or was it Bachmann? I can't keep it straight. See, I don't follow that stuff. So it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if they will do tweaks of it, Tom. They did say it's the version of it as it was at the museum, at the Rail Museum a couple of years ago. And again, Sam from Sam's Train was just being a little critical because he was clearly offended by the price. Now, Sam has looked at European market trains before, but he's never really looked at Roco, Piko, Brava, Märklin. I think he looked at a Trix once, but he was so busy condemning the price because that's the thing about the UK market. The UK market is used to those lower prices. I mean, when I look at the cost of trains in the UK, I'm like, wow, those are really good prices. But then you buy one and you compare it to the quality, and you go, no, I'll buy my Märklin instead of the Hornby. I'll buy my Märklin instead of, and that's not saying they're not good trains, but my personal opinion, unpopular as it may be, is that even if you pay more money for a Brava, a Märklin, a Roco, or even a Piko, although Piko makes locomotives at the same price points as Hornby and lower than Hornby, I think you get more bang for the buck. You pay more, but you get a lot more. You know, the quality for $200, I'll look at certain things like my Mallard. I paid the equivalent of about $150 for that, and I'm not sure it was worth $150 based on the couple of Piko locos I had for $150 that were much better built than that Hornby. Got you, Thomas. What are the German famous companies or German famous locos? truly, that's not a question I can answer, Edward. That again would be a German guy. Evil might know. Like, I don't know if there are specifically classic trains. Like, there are classic lines like the steamer, what is it? The 01s, the Württemberger C-Class ones, the 18s, the 18.4, 18.2s, 18.3s, 18.4s, 18.5s. But I'm not knowledgeable of those. I don't know if there's a specifically individual famous locomotive from Germany. I mean, there's, what is it? The 233 that's called the Ludmilla? Is it the class 223 called the Ludmilla? But again, it's an entire class that has that nickname as opposed to one individual locomotive. Like in the UK, there's a class of locomotives called the A4. And then you've got the Mallard, the Sir Nigel Gresley, and the White Fox, the Silver Fox, what is it? And there's because all the UK locomotives are named. They're all named. Even most of the diesels seem to have names. All right, Robert, thanks for popping in. Oh, Roco is streets ahead, Raymond. I mean, to be honest, there's not a German company that I would say Hornby is close to. I mean, again, biased, and I know I'm offending some of the UK guys because, again, to a degree, are you getting what you pay for? You get a lot less stuff in it for $150. But even a $150 Piko loco versus a $150 Hornby, I think the Piko is made better. And again, I'm an American, and yes, I'm biased towards the German companies, and I don't own a bunch of Hornbys, but what I have owned and what I see in videos and what I hear the UK guys saying. And it doesn't mean they're not beautiful. It doesn't mean they don't run well. Right. And that's what I was trying to say, Thomas, but I'm not, Tom. I'm just not as schooled. Don't have the background. I didn't grow up with them. You know, I didn't grow up even reading about them. I just went to Germany and rode the trains. Oh, this is the high-speed train. This is cool. And then after about 10 years of doing that, I started going, I like these trains. And then I started thinking about getting the model, so I started studying some of the models and trying to learn what I was riding in Germany. The ICE 1s, the ICE 2s, the ICE 3s. Have not ridden an ICE 4 yet, but that's going to change. Joyce and I have several trips that are scheduled in Germany where we're riding ICE 4s. Hey, George, how are you? Now, again, there are fans of Märklin who say Märklin's quality took a huge dive in the 80s, and even if it's come back, it's not where it was 50 years ago. But people say that about Hornby too, that the Hornby stuff you bought in the 60s and 70s is streets ahead of what you buy today. I'll say that even though the modern technology is better today, houses were built better. The materials used were better, and I'm not saying, you know, the materials have changed because of, well, this is poisonous, that's poisonous, or whatever. It's houses built before 1940, 1950. The wood used in America was old wood. It was, you know, trees that were 200-300 years old, and the wood was tougher and harder. Since the 1960s, houses being built, especially during the housing boom in the baby boomer era, and the urban sprawl expansion, they began, it's like Christmas trees. Our Christmas trees lasted a month when I was a kid. Now, a live tree doesn't last a week and a half because it's new growth. That tree's only been growing about 20, 30 years, and it hasn't learned to weather the environment as well. The trees we chopped down 70 years ago had been standing for 100 years, 200 years, and they were used to drought and blah, 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 and thus they could handle being cut down and last longer. The younger trees can't handle that, but, so, and, you know, that's just some of it with trains too. You know, yes, they use cheaper products now because the cost of those products is just so prohibitive. Hey, Rick is here. How are you? Yeah, you know, and we in America, we talked about that with, you know, the cars. You know, when America exploded and became, in the 60s and early 70s, the world's economic power, we're not anymore. We're not even in the top 10. Well, we probably are, but everybody had money. And so, you know, the cars from the 50s and 40s lasted 30 years, 40 years. And the automobile companies said, we'll be out of business. So we had the famous phrase, planned obsolescence. People are buying new cars every 3-4 years. My dad was poor, but we bought a new car every 3 years. And gas was 40 cents a gallon. I think the lowest I ever remember gas being in my own memory is about 33 cents a gallon in the 60s. But gas was so cheap, so our engines didn't need to be. And that oil embargo in 1973 screwed America Royal. We never recovered from it. And we didn't even try to recover from it from a long time because the guys that own the American factories, the owners, didn't want to spend the money to upgrade. They never would. And it crippled America, and America has never recovered. And people to this day will blame one party or the other, the president or this. But the oil embargo of 1973-74 is what killed the American economy. It made us go down. And even if some economic strengths are higher than they've ever been, the fact is it killed the working class in America because all the factories shut down and moved overseas. But because instead of building new factories and putting in new tech, they were too conservative. They were, we're not going to spend our money. Yeah, and Artie, one of my secondary jobs, I worked for the city of Toledo in demolition. I would teach during the school year, and then weekends in the summer, I worked for the city of Toledo for a couple of years in demolition, where we went and tore down old buildings. And yes, old buildings were much harder to tear down than new buildings. Much harder. Because the wood was thicker and harder, tougher. You know, I can break a modern 2x4, pine wood 2x4, with a half-strength kick. You get a old redwood 2x4 that this house was built with, yeah, give it 3 or 4 hard kicks and you'll break your foot before you break the board. And of course, those 2x4s are real 2x4 before 2x4 became 1 3/4 by 3.5. Let's see, Evo says, I have P10, P8, the T18, the T3, the T2, the G4.5, a G10, a G8, BB2, Class 24, Class 50K. And if you can't remember the numbers of, you're already showing off. Knock it off. But yeah, there's definitely lines and classes of German trains. But again, I just don't have the history of them. I'm not the person to ask. I suppose I could grab a few books and read it, but I've hit that point where there's either somebody like Ifo or Jean Ricard who can tell me, or I can Google it real fast and read it. And it's just, model trains are my hobby. And they've become a passion, but the history of trains is not a passion. I do like model trains. I like modern era. So anything even before era 5. And by the way, UK guys understand eras a little differently. Everybody has a slight difference, but in the United States and Europe, era 1 is pretty much anything before World War I. Era 2 is World War I, pre-World War II. Era 3 is World War II, post-World War II into the 60s. Era 4 is late 60s, early 70s into the mid-80s. That's era 4. And 85 is mid-80s to about 2000, 2005. Then era 6, which is modern era, is anything roughly after 2000, 2005. Now, there are technological developments and lettering system developments that seem to mark the line, but the line, there's no definitive line, the blur. And of course, you had era era 2 trains running during era 4, that's just the easy way to look at it. So, I really don't know much about trains pre 2004 or 5, which is when I started going to Germany in 2003. And I started really getting into trains about 2000. Well, I started really loving to travel by train 2006, 2007, 2008 is when I really went from, well, I'm taking my students somewhere and the easiest way to go by trains to going, oh my God, this is so much easier than ever driving. I'm never going to drive a car in Europe. I'm always going to travel by train. And then 2013 is when I began thinking about getting a model train. And then 2015 is when I finally decided, coming back from Germany, yes, I'm going to get a model train and put it in my classroom. And that's where it started. And then once I bought the model train, it was like shooting up heroin, if I could be so crass as to make that comparison, because I was addicted. It was one hit and I'm addicted. I'm so old, the Dead Sea was only sick when I went there. Well, there's Jean Ricard. Wondered when you would be popping in. Were you working? Yeah, but seriously, that was one of the first things I learned, was the era. So that's one of the things I've got, like, in my head that I can recite without thinking. But again, I've already seen that some of the things I was taught and read when I first started getting into model trains, and again, I got into model trains in at the end of 2015. Really, you could almost say 2016. So 7 years. 7 years I've been into model trains. And I have stuck with Era 6, other than, yeah, I got some old steamers now. In that time period, I haven't made a study of, I tried to learn the German rail system as it currently is because we talk about it in my class. So I wanted to make sure I get factual information. But even then, some of the information has not been accurate, even coming from some German sites and some German guys. But some things still hold out, like Era 6 nomenclature. Every German class of train has 3 numbers. 0 is steam, 1 is electric, 2 is diesel. And in East Germany, before the reunification, it was the opposite. 2 was diesel and 1 was electric, if I remember correctly. But anyhow, be that as it may. And then everything below 50 was passenger service, and everything above 50 was freight. But now you have 140-somethings pulling freight and 250-something pulling passengers, and but that's how it was originally explained to me, because this would be the Germans in very ordentlich. Everything will be labeled and run this way, very, you know, very meticulously organized. Hey, Francisco Soto Hernandez, saludos to you. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say. Again, when I talk about things, I talk vaguely, because if you start, you know, this is years of being a teacher. I can explain the cause of the American Civil War or the British Civil War. I can explain it in 5 minutes, or over a 10-week doctoral thesis course. When I'm talking to an audience I don't know, I always go for the simplest explanation. I always go for the most basic, simplest. So when coding numbers and the numerization of trains and so forth, that was one of the big events. Era 4 and 5, Era 6 was the big change in that. But also we saw technological changes too. It wasn't just the numeralization, it was some technological innovations as well. All right, James, thanks for popping in. I really appreciate it. I'm still not a rail fanner. I mean, you won't see me running to the Toledo Amtrak station and filming the trains, or stopping somewhere in Toledo and filming a freight train. I'm not that big a rail enthusiast. I am a model train enthusiast. And I do love my model trains. It is my hobby. Now, 10 years ago, and for 30, well, let's say for 40 years, wargaming was my passion. I was a wargamer. Video, tabletop. I was a wargamer. And that passion is lessened, but it's not dead. I just don't have the opportunity to really break out the war games, but I loved wargaming. I also was a huge sport. I played in baseball and softball and basketball leagues in my 20s, 30s, and into my 40s before I retired, and that's when I started going, you know, you watch some of my old videos before. Well, yeah, just go back and look at me from the 2018 and 2019 shows and videos. You can watch me a little, you know, big, but get really big, shrink. You can watch my size go up and down from when I started this channel up until where the doctor said lose weight or die. That's an old and a good one there, Paul. But yeah, it's just I have this thing. My hobbies tend to draw me into things I know nothing about, and it's like it's a self-abuse. Because I could sit here and talk linguistics or history or languages, English grammar, writers, poets, and I could talk ad nauseum at doctoral thesis levels for hours on end, because that's where my knowledge base is, and I'm actually very good at math up through a level of calculus, and then math suddenly becomes, but you know, I can read a Stephen Hawking's book and be just fine and understand what he's talking about. Carl Sagan, because Carl Sagan was great about taking even the most complex concepts in astrophysics and such, and explain them in ways that you could go, yeah, I get that. But my hobbies always seem to take me into areas, at least my newer hobbies, take me into areas where I'm completely ignorant, so that I can look stupid all the time. Well, yeah, it was true. It really was true. And it really was almost that blunt. The problem is there are people that their doctor would say that to, and it wouldn't faze them. It fazed me because I have a healthy fear of dying. I don't want to die today. But I am over 6'3". If I put on shoes, I'm 6'4". And I weigh the equivalent of 105 kilos. I weigh 225 pounds. Actually, today I weighed 223 when I got up this morning. But let's just say I weigh 225 pounds, which is about 110 kilos, give or take a couple. And I maintained that weight into my late 30s when I injured my leg and missed a year of, half a year of playing sports and working out and staying in shape. And I put on 10 pounds that I just seemed to struggle to lose, and suddenly I weighed 235. And then in my early 40s, I stopped playing sports, and I just went 235, 240, 245, 250, 260. And then we joined the gym, and I went back down to 240, 245. And then we'd stop going to the gym for a little bit, and 250, 260, 270, 280. And at 1988, I ballooned. I was 45, and I ballooned up to close to 300 pounds. And that's when Joyce and I got really serious. And by 2010, I was down to 250. And I had also been working out like never before. So I was 250, but I had broad shoulders, pretty good size biceps. And, you know, I wasn't skinny, but I wasn't looking obese like I was either. I had lost 50 pounds. I probably lost 70 pounds and then put on 30 pounds of muscle. But then life happened and we stopped going to the gym consistently, and I slowly ballooned up again. I was in 2019, our last trip to Germany, I was out of breath going up hills, and I weighed about 275. And even though we came back and we went back to playing tennis and I got down to 260, by November I was up to the upper 280s again. And I had several doctor's checkups, and then I injured my back, and they took some numbers and they sent them to my doctor, and I went to my doctor. I injured my back in December, so I had to go to my main doctor, and he didn't care about my back. He's like, do you see these numbers? This is your blood sugar level the last year. This is your cholesterol level. This is your blood pressure level. And they're all spiking over the last 6 months. That is the sign of a massive heart attack coming. You need to change now. They put me on meds, and he said, you need to do something about this or you will die soon. And so I took the meds and I went on a crash diet. No fad diet. I just stopped eating as much. I used to get 2-3 cheeseburgers when I'd go to this, you know, when we'd grill or cook out, or we'd go to a restaurant. I'd get a half pound or pound burger and eat it, you know. And now I eat one burger. I drink 2 pops a week instead of a pop every day. I don't eat healthy. I just eat a lot less. So that's the story. You know, I mean, without going too far into it, if I die, I wouldn't care because it's over. When I die, it's over. But I've got people I want to keep seeing. I've got a grandson that I want to see graduate college, if that's his choice in life, or become a plumber, an electrician, or go to college and become an electrician, whatever. I want to be around for that. My grandfather Dodge died when I was 12 years old. That was almost 50 years ago, 46 years ago, 47. And I miss him to this day. There's not a day I don't go by where I just would like to hear one more story from him, one more silly joke from him. There are things that have happened in life where I would love to hear what my grandfather would have had to say about it. both so I could laugh at him and think, old timer. But if my grandfather were alive today, he'd be 133. So I've got that grandson, and I'm hoping more grandbabies to come, and I want to be around for them. Oh, yeah, Jean Ricard. I like Hagen von Ortliff. I've been wanting to buy his figure to put on my layout. His definition of a Spielbanner. Well, I drink regular Coke. I just don't drink nearly as much as I used to. I could do one 20-ounce bottle a day, and some days two. And it's horrible. It's still bad for you, even one. But now I'll have one or two. Well, no, definitely two a week. But I'm not eating the 5-pound cheeseburgers. I used to buy a pizza and eat 4 or 5 slices of a large pizza. Now I eat 2 slices, and that's it. I'm done. Yes, I want to eat more, but as soon as I go for that third piece, my brain goes, grandson, family, all the toys you still want to buy. I've got a layout to build before I die, damn it. Oh, you won't get me drinking Pepsi. Pepsi's the enemy. Yeah, that's how I feel, Efo. It's like butter versus margarine. You got told margarine was healthier than butter. It actually isn't. And the stuff that they put into margarine to make it healthier is just that. They actually put it in. They should just put that stuff into butter. But the basic margarine versus butter, the stuff in margarine is actually unhealthier for you. And Google it up, look up the history of where margarine comes from. It'll it might freak you out a bit. I prefer Bluebonnet to Imperial. That's a great argument right there. Well, you can say that all you want, Raymond, but the truth is Land O'Lakes is where it's at, buddy. Land O'Lakes is what it's about. There we go. Let's catch that guy going up the ramp. And, ooh, busy time at the station. Sadly, nobody's stopping. Go ahead, Jean Ricard. Oh, Split Rock's not here to talk about it either. I need to show this view more. It's just rarely do you have all 3 trains over there. And all those houses are coming off so I can paint that gray. Because that whole area is just one big concrete garden with some tree gardens in places in Delmenhorst. I'm running actually all my newest purchases right now, Raymond. I brought this guy back out. He rested last week, but I brought him back out. And then, yeah, I'm running the new 442 in the background. And then my old ESU N-Wagen. And then going across in the background, I'm running the new the Munich. It's weird for me to say it in English. The Munich-Nuremberg Express. Munich-Nuremberg Express. Have I told the difference? No. It's really weird. With the 2 new EMUs, because that's a DMU coming through right now. But I like the blue and yellow of the RegioBahn better. But I like the body, the frame of this one, of the 442 better. So my happy medium would be if they made a RegioBahn version of the 442. I like the livery of the RegioBahn better, or of the NordWestBahn better, but I like the style of the 442 RegioBahn better. So I like the livery of one over the other, and then I like the style of the other one over that. So I need a happy medium. But they're both Picos, and they're both amazing runners. These are two of the smoothest little runners I have. I really like them. Although, to be honest, I think the little bit of black and charcoal on this new guy, the 442, I'm starting to like its livery quite a bit myself as well. As much as I love that RegioBahn. So there's the Regio, or the NordWestBahn. I like that livery better. But I like this, the 442 body, better. Do I have a class 103? Yes. Yes, I do have a 103. Or wait, no. I have a 102. I don't think I have a 103. I have 101s. I have a bunch of 101s. People would think 101 is my favorite locomotive, and it probably isn't. I just happen to have a bunch of 101s because they keep making 101s in cool liveries. But no, I don't have a 103. I have a 101. Oh, that sounds like a cool project. Okay. And see, Evo, I would have thought it was more an aerodynamic issue that they're not doing the flat ends, but that makes more sense. Well, hello, Martin. How are you? Martin, how are you? Another great channel, if you don't know. He runs classic Märklin, the great 50s, 60s, 70s stuff, and maybe older. But great channel. Hey, Chris, how are you? This one. What is it? Well, so many trains go by from the time you type to I read it. But that red one in the back right now, that is a class 648 diesel multiple unit DMU. That's a class 648. The blue one coming towards you is also a class 648, also known as the Lint class 41. And then this guy in red, that is a 442 EMU. That's a 442 EMU. Because 4 means EMU in the German nomenclature. 0 is steam, 1 is electrical locomotive, 2 is diesel locomotive, 4 is electrical multiple unit, and 6 is diesel multiple unit. So that again, that right there, that blue guy, that shorter blue guy is a 648. This guy is a 442 DeutscheBahn. And then this guy coming through is a class 101 locomotive with some Munich-Nuremberg Eurofirma passenger cars. And then that's a class 143 locomotive, and those are called N-Verkehr or N-Wagen, which is short for Nahverkehr, commuter traffic. Also nicknamed in the time Silberlinge. So there's that class 442 again. And finally, come around the corner in blue is another NordWestBahn company. I did ride a lot of NordWestBahn when I was in Germany, Northwest train. But this guy is the class 440 EMU, which is basically the predecessor of the 442. Not that red one, that one. Yeah, I'm running 4 red ones. Speaking of which, it's been a little while. Let's see how the UK trains are doing. The Mallard is happily running along on that Bachmann Easy track. There he goes with those 3 cars. And the Azuma is zooming along. Azuma! I do love that Azuma. I do love that Azuma. I really wish there was a way it could be converted to 3-rail and run on my upper layout. because I'd be having him on the layout. Could you imagine the Railjet, my ICE3 and ICE4, and the Azuma all running next to each other? How awesome would that be? That would be a cool picture. For those of us into modern trains, you steam lovers who hate the modern world, you probably wouldn't think it's that cool, but I would love to see that Azuma running next to my ICE3 and my Railjet. Why was the Red Sea red? But even the Azuma has a little red on it to fit in it. I mean, I actually toyed with, because somebody was teasing me on a comment on one of my videos, like, was I going to do an all-red show? And I really could, because I've got 3 Regio passenger trains over there all in red yet. I could do all red. But today's episode wasn't meant to be all red. It was meant to be all the new stuff, the most recent purchases, which was the 442 right there, the 440 over there, and the Munich-Nuremberg Express cars, the 3 newest things I bought in the last month. And so I just thought, okay, I would do the Nuremberg Express, which I accidentally called Silberlinge, so I thought I'd run the Silberlinge cars with them to show the difference, you know, between the two. And then I was going to run the 442 and the 440, and then I just said to hell with it. Since I'm running a RegioBahn 442 and a NordWestBahn 440, I decided to run the 2 Lint class 640s as well. There will be a Steamapalooza coming soon, because I have a new steam locomotive that will be here maybe by this show next week. Maybe. That's not a promise. That's a maybe. But I've got a new steam locomotive. But it's a used one, so I'm going to have to, even though it says it's like new, it's a 20-year-old one, which means I'm going to have to really gently take some parts off and make sure it's all clean on the inside and not frozen up. I'm nervous about it. But yeah, Evo, if you didn't catch that, I bought a P8. I bought a P8 from eBay. I found one for 99 American dollars. Listed as old new stock. In other words, it had never been, it's still in the box, has never been run other than to test it before they sold it. Hey, Ewan, how are you? Nice to have you here. Oh, Steve's from Elvenholm. That's a great site. What is your favorite color? Yeah, that would be pretty good. A TGV is also a gorgeous train. I like the TGV. The Shinkansen, I'm one of the weirdos. I think the Shinkansen is just a little too weird for my taste. It's obviously the fastest train out there, but it's kind of cool looking, but it's also almost beyond cool into a little weird, especially those really long-nosed ones that look like a gar, the fish, the gar. That's pretty. You have a Roco KPEV 282. Yeah, I just, based on EFO and Jean Ricard's suggestion, I looked at what a P8 looked like in a P10, and aesthetically the P10 pleased me, but I could not find one. I did find one today, but they want $300 for it. Also older stock and not used. And I thought I could justify, and boy, there's a part of me that from 10 years ago would punch me in the back of the head for saying this. But I figured I could risk $100. 10 years ago, I couldn't risk wasting $50 on anything. I saved up to buy even my simplest war game stuff. But since my last kids are out of school and those final pay raises came in, because we took massive pay cuts in the middle of my teaching career, massive pay cuts. And I had to sell. That's why I don't have that classic Charger. If you've ever seen on my computer screen that green 1973 Charger, that's why I sold it. I had to sell it to save insurance money, and B, to raise money so that we didn't lose the house. Joyce doesn't like me talking about that time, but we weren't about to lose the house, but if we didn't do something, our bills were much higher than our income because we took massive pay cuts to avoid massive layoffs. Oh, I would go with the Kato. Eric Aponte from ANC N-Scale Railroad and Life Journey. He's got a Shinkansen. Peter from Transport and whatever, he's got a Kato Shinkansen, in both an N-Scale and gorgeous. My former colleague Rio, the Japanese teacher, and he is Japanese, but he taught Japanese at the school where I taught German. He has always wanted to have an HO Shinkansen that he could bring and run on my layout, and it's very hard to find one that's remotely affordable, because he had an N-scale train collection in Germany, back in Japan, that he left when he moved to the United States 20 years ago. Was it 20 years ago? Maybe not even 20, maybe 18 years ago. I suppose it is, but there's a lot of style to it as well. But it's just, does the style, because there are some people that think it's beautiful. It's a personal thing, so I don't want to knock the Shinkansen. It's a personal taste. Just like there are people that think the ICE-3 and the ICE-4 are hideous, and I love them. And they're one of my favorite looking trains, along with the Railjet. The Railjet's my favorite livery, and I like the Taurus locomotive, but in terms of trains, I like the rail car look. I like the rocket look of the ICE-3 and ICE-4. That's probably my favorite looking vehicle. And I love that simple white with the red stripe livery. Yes, the Railjets, both Czech and Austrian, I think are cooler. But if you ask me my favorite train, it's a toss-up. ICE-3, ICE-4 versus Railjet in terms of just watching them go round. The livery is prettier on the Railjet, slightly. Bought a very dirty Fleischmann 1305. Yeah, there was a bunch of tin plate at the Toledo show. There was a bunch of tin plate at the Toledo show. Both in O scale and HO. Because I enjoyed shopping there. And it was funny because, again, if you were watching the live stream from the beginning, I was talking about working my way back to the one guy who sells Märklin, and he actually got moved. He was sitting, or his table was actually one of the first tables I went to. And he is the only guy there that consistently has Märklin. And even then, he didn't bring a lot of his Märklin. He had some. And he also has others. He has Roco and Piko. But he does have a lot of Märklin. He had a Class 216 that Jean-Ricard was trying to talk me into buying. Welcome, Thomas Johnson. Glad to have you here. Huh. Where is Joyce? Yeah, she is late. So I'm going to ask the little lady where she is. Well, yeah, but they're rare, but they're not a classic era to me. Like, okay, like if they had had a couple more of those KPEV cars, pre-World War I cars, Era 1, I would have picked them up. If there had been a P8 or a P10 or an S8, S10 locomotive, I would have picked it up then and there. I brought plenty of cash to do that. But just buying some of those, you know, and they had some tin plate Märklins there. He had some, like you said, some rare and potentially classic. But he does not sell cheaply. His prices are not competitive because he has nobody to compete with. So he does not charge, you don't get a great deal from him. He doesn't rip you off, but you don't get a great deal from him. You're going to pay strong value. So it's a question of, like, even with the that class 216, it was an older class 216, but I don't want a 216. I'm looking for a 218 in that livery, and yes, with a little work I could have made the 216 look like a 218, but it was like, why? There are two 218s coming out, plus ESU released a 218 last year that I could get in the ocean blue and cream livery. Doot, doot, doot. Well, EPO, that might be true, but I will say this in all honesty. I have seen guys at train shows in the United States where they sell Märklin very inexpensively. See,
Yeah, that
I
can't
gotta
be
quit
right,
holding
yeah.
on to the computer screen.
Yeah, you move it and boom.
That. I try to get you centered on it, and then when I move my hand.
Hey, so hi Artie and hi John. Hi Dino. Hi Tom. Hey Edward. Okay. Hi
It just won't
Andy.
center you. Oh well.
Oh, hi Kieran. Hi Paul. Hi Mick. Hi absolutely everybody. Yep, Daisy's here. Oh, so yeah, Anthony's been writing if he hasn't told you. So hey Raymond.
Well, it's possible, Evo, that some of these guys
Hi,
don't
Sean,
know
right?
about that book, and that you guys over on the continent do know. But like I said, those cars, those four Märklin KPEV cars I bought,
Hey Joseph. Hey Raymond.
I paid $15 each for
Turn that
them,
down.
which is why I bought them, because I would have expected them to be 30, 40, 50 bucks each, and I got them for 60. 4 cars, 60 bucks. And I have found things on, again, if they know about it, because I've got that Rheingold set from 2018, which I bought 2 Christmases ago. That was a $1,300 set when it was new. That was a $1,300 set for new, and I got it for $325 because the guy didn't know what he was selling. And I felt guilty about it, but he
Chris.
didn't care.
Oh,
Which one
well,
are you going to, Raymond? Or are you going to the Lexington one? Because there's one in Indiana at John Benicki's train club. And then there's a show in Lexington, Kentucky. And I'm sure there's 20 others in the United States.
Oh, no doubt, yeah. Oh. Well, yeah, I've got volunteers coming in on Monday to help me with a STEM lesson. So I had to set that up. You need to take an extension cord in.
Okay.
So yeah, then I had to send an email to the parents. I need those
They were
release
flash. I thought,
forms.
okay. So that's about normal price there. All right.
So just a ton to do, and I still would have been here earlier, but I ended up talking to the primary teachers. Gee, none of them know how to put their grades in the grade system. Okay, I'll show you guys. Not Monday. I will show you later, but that was quite a conversation between 4 of them.
Oh, Louisville. I thought somebody earlier said Lexington. Louisville.
So, anyway,
oh,
so
Victorville,
yeah,
California.
I've been running today. And then very boring with the kids all day. Oh, where do you buy most of your trains from?
Where do I buy most of my
Auto
trains?
Shop?
Model Bahn Shop Lippe.
Lipa.
Model Bahn Shop Lippe.
That is his go-to.
That is my probably, I don't know, is 90 too high? 90% of my stock? Because I bought some stuff from Renaud's outside of Chicago.
You have
I bought a
AJC
Kids.
You have.
I bought some.
So probably safely about at least 80%.
80 if not 90%.
Because we get car
and then the Railjet was from that guy in New Jersey.
Right.
The
And,
Trans-European Express,
right.
or whatever he calls his shop. It's
Anyone take a
online.
Dodge and made it into a rail vehicle?
I know there are rail trucks and rail testing
Oh,
trucks that
okay.
were converted Dodges, just like they do with Ford pickup trucks and GM.
That's good, Raymond.
Not that anybody's ever made one.
That is good.
Yeah, which one is Euro model trains?
My young boyfriend, huh?
You got your Kato pocket line from
I don't know what
TEE
to do with
USA. Yeah, that's the one where I got my Railjet.
Oh, excuse me.
And then I never bought anything from them again. But when I became a member of the Märklin Insider Club a couple years ago, I got an email saying, "Hey, let me be your official Märklin store, your MHI. You know, I can get you all the." But I've never been tempted to buy any of the MHI locomotives or the Insider Club locomotives. They've yet to make one where I go, "Ooh, I want that one." They're pretty.
Well, most of them are not
but
current.
They're not what I'm after,
Yeah, they're
and
not
they're
Aero 6.
expensive.
They are very expensive. So, did you get any new faces in today?
Yeah, we can throw this across this. There, George, you can see the UK trains for a few minutes. I've actually had it up quite a bit, but there, it's spread across the stream. With me and Joyce up in the corner.
Yeah.
With Joyce and me up in the corner, proper grammar.
Good. So,
TEE,
A and C?
TEE USA. Hey, Eric, yours must have been burning. We've been talking about you.
Oh, have we? Oh, yeah, I get mileage in.
Because there's Euro-Rail hobbies and there's Euro model trains. One's in Canada, one's in New York. And I can never keep them straight anymore. Because I even bought something
I
from the
bet.
Canadian shop once.
No, of course not all bad, Eric.
Nothing bad, nothing bad. All good.
Anthony would never do that for one thing. And then why in the world would anybody say
I know,
that?
George, but part of my thing is the multicam, so I can watch all the trains going around from different angles.
George.
If I start putting up every camera that everybody wants, I'd wind up with the 12 cameras I have.
Right. And you'd be so dizzy trying to see all the
So,
small circles.
start watching it on a big screen TV and
Right.
enjoy it all. Yes, if you're on a phone
Okay, that's
trying to
good,
watch
Eric.
this, yeah, it's no fun watching those 12
No,
cameras.
absolutely not. Anyway, gentlemen and ladies, if you haven't
Where are
hit
we
the
at?
like
Oh, we're
button,
at the-
please hit the
We
like button.
did not have a big crowd today. I mean, we broke
We'd
into the
like
mid-30s,
Anthony
but
to get up to 40 at least.
yeah, we did not have a big crowd today. I
Gotta work
figure
on it.
everybody's out celebrating St.
I don't
Patty's
know,
Day.
you got 31 in now. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, but you know, the last few streams we've been over 40.
Thank you.
38.
Hi, Bailey. It's Edward, right?
I could become a sub
Sometimes
shop.
I guess a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how he would do that.
I mean, it turns into
Hi, Andrew.
it turns into arguments
nice.
with fellow Märklin enthusiasts online. And trust me, from Märklin Users Net to
Ooh, wow,
other-
you guys were responsive. Thank you.
to other Märklin and German, Austrian company forums that I'm members of, the fights that break out over where's the best place to buy Märklin trains. And for me, it's always been Modellbahn Shop Lippe. They are by far the cheapest. And I get people going, Bessere Preise is always better than Lippe. And I go to Bessere Preise. And they're not cheaper. Maybe every now and then you'll find one loco cheaper.
Well, and it helps that, they have their club, which a lot of places do. But Anthony just finds it works out so well for him to join the club. And
Yeah, if you
then
join
the good
their...
stock, and then let you add.
They already have a good markdown. And then on top of that, you get another markdown if you join their Premier Club or whatever they call it. And it's $50 a year, but I get that back on my first locomotive. Hey, Lindy's here. Cayenne! Uh-oh, we gotta do Cayenne.
There we
Oh,
go.
were there any packages on the front door?
They didn't check. I know that I saw. Let's put it
All
that
right, well,
way.
tell you what. You run the
What's
show
that?
for a bit. And of course,
Oh, shit.
Jean Ricard will be saying, take over, take over,
Of
take
course
over.
he will.
The only thing is, you know how to do the auto stop, right?
Yeah, I do.
But your grandson is on.
I got that. So, hi, Kyan. Mom, I loves you. Well, yeah, Anthony would absolutely support his local train if it made sense. But, I mean, we had a dealer up in Detroit, which is, about 45-minute, 50-minute drive. We would go up there and get things from him, but then he closed. So what can you do? The next closest is over 2 hours. Okay, good. And questionable, stock isn't always great.
He's got a lot of good stock if you like the older stuff.
Right, and so...
And he gets some of the newer cars that are Era 1s through Era 4, but he doesn't carry a lot of Era 5 and 6 stock. He carries no Era 6 stock.
Okay, you got more shirts.
Yeah, 2 different versions.
Okay.
So I think this is the one with the big logo on it.
So you want
So,
the green,
big logo.
long sleeves.
Yeah,
It's
these are the
cold.
long sleeves. And then
And red.
the red.
With
So
the
anyhow, I
small.
gotta do this.
Okay, nice.
He's probably wondering why he hasn't done it already. Cayenne!
Ryan!
Opa loves you!
Oh, I love you!
Up, up, up.
Up, up, up. Beep, beep.
There we go. There's the new long sleeve shirt. With a slight modification of the design to go on the red shirts. And then, so there's the little
Yeah, when he
version.
modified it, it was very nice.
And then there's the big logo version. So which one should I wear now?
yeah, Anthony
extra
wears an
training.
extra large.
Yeah, I wear extra large. Hey, I used to wear 2X bordering on 3X.
Sure, yeah.
So 1X is cool.
Yeah, I mean, we have a hobby shop. We will get some things that we can get.
Yeah, and if you didn't check
Yeah,
it, I'll go
that
right back
was
to it in the morning.
very nice.
Hang on, you gotta check. If you didn't see this somewhere, because you either saw it on Facebook, you saw it on YouTube, or you saw it at the beginning of the live stream today.
Here we go.
That's my
Hey!
grandson.
Hey!
Oh my gosh! Hi Joyce, how are you, dear?
Hi.
So,
There's the little guy. What
that's
is
the
he
best
doing
model
up
in
so
the
late?
world.
That's what we're wondering.
Is he going to run a train?
Oh, he's going to do it now.
Oh, you got people in view. How'd that happen?
I got what?
People in view there. When you have it up.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks great in this
Oh,
shirt.
he styled it really
matched
well.
his socks.
Almost the same green.
A little bit darker.
See, I figured I could wear the big logos on the live streams.
Yeah.
But this is the shirt I wanted to wear to the train show.
Yeah.
And it's only
understood.
2 weeks late.
Well, I say I always wear a long sleeve under.
But I
the-
need long sleeves. I need long sleeves
looking.
still. Although I put that heater on, so it's not too.
Yeah,
it's not
you
cold
did.
down
It's
here.
actually too warm down here.
Is it too warm?
I
You
think
want to go
so.
turn it off?
I don't know. It's all right.
Yeah. So yeah, my he. I was telling the story at the
Eisenbahn
beginning, but Eisenbahn point,
Yeah,
friend
he
of
says
the
try that one. Have you
train
tried it?
friend. Eisenbahn is just one word for train. You know, like we call.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anthony picked
somebody.
the Liverpool
Oh,
Road.
I stopped it. That's why.
What's that?
When I got up, my I hit the
You
button.
bumped it.
Wait, is it going the wrong way?
Which one's that?
No, he's going the wrong way. I
I'm
changed
so
his. I
tired.
accidentally changed his direction. The 442.
Flying Scotsman Sweeter. Steamer Sweet.
Who's mentioned the Flying Scotsman again?
Aussie. Artie. Artie the Aussie. How's that? Oh, it wasn't Artie the Aussie. It was model
Well,
train
I picked red because my favorite college football team wears red.
Yeah.
Liverpool wears red.
Yeah.
But also because my daughter's logo looks great on every color shirt except red because the red lettering disappears on it. So she redesigned the logo so I could offer a couple of, so in case people do like red, there are a couple of shirts. Again, who's going to buy it? But just, we've already bought like,
I still think you need to do the Romboy shirt.
yeah, I was talking about that. We're going
Yeah.
to do the design.
Yep. Knights of the Romboy
Knights of the
table.
Rhomboid table.
No, I just make it singular. A knight of the Romboy table. Everybody is individual.
He's still learning. He only knows how to he knows how to turn off and turn on Opus trains,
Yeah.
and he knows how to turn on and increase the speed and slow down the trains on the floor.
Alright. Is that a real thing on my phone, or is it just a YouTube ad? I've gotten it twice.
No, it's possible because you don't delete much.
I probably don't.
So you need to
Get the clean, huh?
delete everything.
I don't know.
You get beaten up at train shows. Well, again, that's
Wow.
why would anybody wear, I mean, there's a couple of people that did say they would wear a Knights of the Rhomboid table, so I would like to make a cool shirt for anybody wanting to do that. Now you gotta know how to turn them on, but you gotta know how to make them go. And Kyan probably with a little associative learning would know how to make them go on the
He's
Central
not-
Station
he's
3.
Not far for sure.
But he knows how to run the trains on the floor. He knows how to use those controllers. But the thing is, what I like about Spring is you create a store because I've sold I think 5 shirts on Spring. There's 5 people out there who bought one of my shirts on Spring, but I wasn't creating these to sell.
To other people, right? You just paint it for yourself.
Yeah, it's a free way where you throw your design on and then you buy it at their designer price and you get the shirt. Now I could do whatchamacallit, Sticker Mule.
Yeah.
I could do Sticker Mule, and Sticker Mule gives you t-shirts for $20, $19.99. But it's just a t-shirt.
Well, and I think it's a terrific concept. because you make designs online and it doesn't cost them anything, and then you don't. Nobody gets charged until they print it. I mean, they won't print it until somebody wants it. It's a great design.
I don't show up on your camera far enough.
Yeah. And your own camera.
Yeah, I know I have my own camera.
No.
Even your camera is my camera, so don't get too cocky there.
That's true. They look tired.
There we go. So, so you got that little white logo
Did the
on the
Chris
red
Hales
shirt.
project get finished? There were an awful lot of people who could not download that design. I think it got sort of mired in the mud.
The biggest thing that happened with the Chris Hales project is the same thing that happened with that Pass the Thing On. Right about the time that stuff happened, Chris Hales died, and then shortly thereafter, her brother died.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had another death in Joyce's family, and we had other issues, and then
This has been a lot.
COVID hit part of the family, and it just, all that crap happened, and we just lost track of all the stuff we were planning on doing, and then day goes to day, and you're not thinking about it anymore. Literally within a couple of weeks after Chris died, her brother went to the final stages and died, and we were focused on that.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe aim for a year.
Maybe do it as a year anniversary.
Just
That's a horrible thought, though.
Yeah, well, not an
Celebrating a year since he
not
died.
an anniversary, but a year commemorative.
Yeah, and that's kind of where
That's
I've
the way
been.
to think about it. Yeah.
We all live in the yellow BR218. That doesn't quite work.
Oh, we should figure out what we're doing for dinner soon.
Well, I'm thinking either Steak Escape.
Okay, let's go like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just whose order will they get wrong this time?
indeed.
Read the damn instructions.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna leave here.
I assume you're hangry.
Getting there.
Yeah, Manchester United can wear red. I'm not worried about it. This is the Model Train Outsider shirt. That's what this is about, Model Train Outsider shirt. Because, wow, one of the biggest views of my camera, there was absolutely no trains on it.
Right, yeah.
Which means
Well,
we
you
should
don't
get
have
everybody
to-
in it shortly.
This is it. You don't have to wait too
1, 2,
long.
3, 4.
Yeah, 4 across there. There's 5.
5, but one's out of the picture now.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the blue guy? Oh, here he comes.
Okay, all left again. They're a little bit synced. Can you make it just sort of stroll through them?
There is a way I can have it rotate. You can set it on a timer,
Yeah.
and that might be the way to
Yeah,
go.
people might like that.
Yeah. Don't give people ideas.
Well, he,
Give them an inch, they
some
take a
of the
mile.
orange he spray painted gray, but he's using gray filament now instead of orange.
Yeah, I start with orange filament, and then I decided gray,
What
because
did you do
gray,
with your newest things you
it's all
painted?
behind you.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, they look good.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased.
No, I should-
Like you
you
can
should
see
be.
the roof of the newest one. It's actually the short corner building,
Gotcha. Oh,
but that's still better than the one corner building I got over there,
For sure it is, yeah.
which actually printed the roof separately.
Okay.
This was I printed the building one way and then the
look
roof.
good. And yeah, that 3-story one really looks awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to
What are we
paint
gonna
it.
have to bring over next year, Anthony? Yeah. Okay. Well, it's winter. I figure we need to get heavier coats. The Three Sisters? Who are the Three Sisters?
It's a oh crap, I'm gonna confuse that with the Seven Brothers or whatever it is in Sweden. Oh,
Are they mountains or? Hey, you explained it, Artie. What are the Three Sisters?
It's Santa's associates, the ho ho ho.
Oh.
Oh ho ho ho. Santa saw my 3 sisters
Oh,
and said
no,
ho
no,
ho
no.
ho.
I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna make a trip that long. Now to wait 40, we might want to try to go first class.
Yeah, that's the crazy bit is really the long flight.
So one of my friends was telling me if they did that, they thought they would just, go like fly to San Francisco. Yeah, but what are they? They would go to San Francisco, spend a few days, then fly to the next closest island and spend a day or two, and then go to the next island, and they would just sort of hop around until they got.
I figured we'd be going San Diego, New Zealand, and then Australia.
I assume that's what we're doing.
It's a scary proposition since I hate planes, and 14 hours on a
Yes,
plane
he sure does. Is
sounds
that
a
what it is?
horrifying
It
experience.
sure does. Like I say, you might want to put some nickels back and try to go first class. I don't know. That's so expensive.
We'll be
maybe
able,
maybe business class.
We might be able to afford.
Yeah.
That's where
I would assume it's 3 mountains, but I hate to
taking
assume.
sleeping pills.
Well, all right. See if your doctor will give you some. Yeah, you really want to be able to sleep.
Can I program the stop at the station? No.
Are you sure no? Or you just
There's a way I could do it. I would just have to set up
gaps.
well, route running. So you'd have to use the Central Station 3 has some of them, but I still think you have to use an exterior program. But I'd have to build block detection, and then yes, with my Central Station 3, I could do it. I don't plan on doing it because it's not a big deal to me, and I don't want to do all the work to do block
17
detection.
hours is crazy. All right, Eric, I would assume from the UK that you would fly west to Tokyo. Is that
He's
correct?
Ohio.
Oh, he's Ohio. Never mind.
That's Eric from Columbus.
That's right, Eric.
lives
I
near
forgot
our
you were
son.
Columbus. I was trying to put you in UK.
He goes to that Robbie's Hobbies all the time. Well, I shouldn't say
Gotcha.
all the time, but he goes to Robbie's
Well,
Hobbies.
that makes sense. He's got one
He's
that's
in Columbus,
close.
right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't mean to move you.
I did the long run.
Anyway, those of you in the UK, do you go west to go to Asia? I would assume you do
East.
this. East. Do you go east to go there? Because the westerlies would
That's
still
why
carry
they call
you.
it the Far East.
Yeah, sorry. It's west to us.
I actually intend in the long run, and this could be 10 years down the road, to put catenary in. But it'll be the last thing I put in.
Right. Yeah, by being on a plane for that long, you can get blood clots and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he says they fly to Fiji. They do LA to Fiji.
Okay, gotcha.
It's 8 hours.
It's
which
8
is,
hours? That's not crazy.
Then you land in Fiji.
So maybe we
And
seriously...
hope there's no hurricane.
Maybe we seriously, wherever we're going, if it's Lax or if it's San
Spend a couple
Diego,
of days in Fiji.
spend a day or two in,
But we're going to New Zealand too, at least.
yeah. Well, I think it's a great
I'm hoping.
idea.
I like the idea of going to New Zealand.
Me too.
And
Just,
Kiwi Dave told us we could stay at his house. Now, he said that a year ago. He may have changed his mind since then. I don't know if Kiwi Dave is still here.
It was on here, yeah.
Well, he was here earlier.
Gotcha. Flights to the UK go north to Asia. Okay, that makes sense. That you would do that trip, which I considered that too, that you would actually go almost the North Pole and over. I was really trying to figure it out. Fly to
Oh, yeah.
South Korea, then Beijing, China. Yeah, oof. Yeah, because I assume those are... Yeah, wow. Yeah, they go over the pole. That makes sense.
Well, hi, Rick. How are you? Nice to have you here.
Oh, yeah, you gotta move. You'll be okay if you just move your legs with regularity.
Yeah, we
on
get
a
up and
train.
move around. We get
up and move around if we can, but I also constantly stretch my legs and As you know, I wiggled them anyway.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Yeah.
What a difference.
Hey!
Hey.
Oh my God! Hi, Joyce. How are you, dear?
Hi.
There's the little guy. What is he doing up so late?
That's what we're wondering.
He knows no time.
Is he gonna run a train?
Oh, he's gonna do it now. Hang on. Let me.
Sure is.
After all, he
Let me
does
get
it.
Oh, I gotta figure out how to do this. Come on, get out of line.
So what a change.
He's growing up.
Put
so
you up
fast.
there and do that right there. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, live for the very first time.
27 months old.
Oh, the equator.
There he is. He's running
Oh,
trains.
great. Thanks.
Hang on, let's
Maybe we're not
change
coming down.
camera
Thanks for
here.
letting me know.
You can see he's actually doing something here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta
not,
see
not,
which one
not
would
looking
work.
forward. I don't
Yeah,
like
he's
I don't like
running
flying,
dash.
and turbulence on a plane gives me heart attacks. I literally go into fits.
I hold his hand.
You try to hold my hand. My hand is usually gripping massively
Okay,
hard
I
onto
pretty
the arm.
much hold his arm and then just speak to him calmly and softly. It's okay. It's okay. You're okay.
But
Best
yeah,
way to go is in a fire
Kyan was
crash
styling
anyway.
my new was styling the new logo T-shirt.
Yeah,
That blue looks good on him.
it does look good on him. It's a great color. Yeah, well, yeah, that's from a couple months to
Yeah, he was 2 months old.
2 months old to
His
2
first
years.
appearance on YouTube, 2 months
2
old.
years and 2 months.
And now 2 2 years
Almost
and
3
3 months.
months,
Oh,
yeah.
close enough to call it 27 months.
You're right.
Well, he technically is a mini Stevens.
Yeah, he looks a lot like his dad.
Well, it doesn't matter. His name. I mean, he's obviously got Dodge in him, but his last
He's
name's
got
Stevens.
some Dodge in
and,
him, but
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
You know, I feel like if we
understanding.
claim him as Dodge, well,
Winter
he's
time
half
of the
Dodge.
equator isn't bad. Mid-year in June and no cyclones. Okay, so he's making you feel better.
Oh, I
Yeah, I can't imagine it would be cool to be flying over a cyclone.
first time I flew was our first trip to Germany.
Yeah, it was. With a bunch of kids. Yeah, I can see. Worried about November.
Oh, Kyan is saying hi to Rick when you play that clip.
Oh, nice.
Well, there you go, Rick. Apparently, my grandson remembered you because as soon as I put you on there, he starts going hi to you when I was playing that clip. That's funny. All right, Kieran, thanks for hanging with us, dude. Take care. Although, that's another one. I think I'd like to get a little J94 locomotive just in honor of Kieran. Not to run on the layout, just somewhere. Dodge Stevens. It was a lot smoother at Mach 2. Well, you hot dog pilot, of course.
No doubt.
No doubt. It's all smooth at Mach 2.
Hell,
How
if it
rough is it when you break
as
the
to
sound
say,
barrier?
if it isn't smooth, you probably flip it over. Changes your senses entirely.
Come on. Up.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, agreed. It's nice to still have the sun out. When are you in the UK and Australia changing your time?
And Europe.
Yeah, Europe, I guess.
Excuse me.
You don't feel it, but it's quick. Yeah.
Do you want to turn off the...
Phew. Right.
You wanna turn off the
Agreed, because it
UK
is
trains?
dark. Okay, we're wrapping up.
Yeah,
Six.
well, it's 6 o'clock.
I agree.
I was waiting for you to turn into the Incredible She-Hulk and start going, feed me! Feed you. All right, well, it is 6
I just
p.m.
stopped them.
here in
No, I can't just stop them.
the eastern half of the United States, the Eastern Time Zone, which means Joyce will slowly start turning into, like gremlins if she isn't fed soon. Don't go to Canuna in winter. I don't know what Canuna is. It's bloody quick. All right, so, hey, you.
Yeah.
We're good. What are you doing? Don't break anything. So, once again, we have come to the end of a Friday live stream here on the Model Train Outsider channel.
Yep.
So, on behalf of Daisy Little Joyce, that's your new name now. You're Daisy Little Joyce.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Daisy Little Joyce. Hit the like button, gentlemen. We're going to say Auf Wiedersehen
Choose.
and happy trains. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
We will see you somewhere.
Yep.